1 year, right? And then most of drugs survive. We very carefully about choosing the drugs, so most of them survive, like 70% survive. Phase 2 is about 100 to 300 people, and then make sure they have a disease, right? So that we can give the drug, so making more comfortable, or treatment or something. And so we check with the placebo study also. Placebo study is like salt pill. Okay, we give you one person drug and give you another person salt, just the table salt, and then make sure they have getting improved. Normally, it's known fact that if you say if you have a high heart rate or high blood pressure people, okay, so I give him a drug to him, and also I give him salt to him. He gets some treatment, even though he didn't eat the drug. He didn't take the drug. He get psychologically taking better. So we want to eliminate those kind of effect. It's called placebo effect. Okay. So it's gonna be safety is always important, and then we determine how much drug is really good for treatment of a certain disease. And then now here is about 1/3 is dropping down. Okay.
So the initial trial or
Next trial.
phase
So 70% passed. From the 70%, 1/3 down.
from the initial trial.
Yeah, it's very, very kind of like an elimination. Keep on eliminating. Now, the critical one is phase 3. Because think about it, 1,000 to 3,000 people. So everybody have to give the drug. Everybody have to get the blood test. Everybody make sure they're improving, and also you have to have a plasma for everything. So it's gonna be a very, very expensive trial, phase 3. It's known to be maybe I'll get back to you that it's very consuming. And also 3 years right here, right? We spent 1 year in the phase 1, 2 years, phase 2. Now here is about 3 years, about 6 years already. Without making single penny, you spend 6 years right here. Okay? And it's about 30% passed. The rate is okay, right? But the real problem is these figures. You see that the preclinical area is like a discovery area. This is total is about 2009. This is the old pharmaceutical company spending. Okay, about the data set is about 10 pharmaceutical companies, major pharmaceutical companies. And that's a figure, but this figure is not really important. Actually, I want to point it out. This phase 3 is about 40% of total expenses in the one place. So what that means is, if you fail phase 3, think about it, for the company, you spend a whole bunch of money in here, and you fail. Major disaster. Okay? Phase 3 clinical trial is very, very costly. And usually their stock price go down like 30%. Right there. So it's a big problem for America. Now then you can turn on the champagne and happy. Clinical 3 is down, so you got launching the drugs. Okay. So drug is in the market. You're making advertisement and go to the doctor, introducing new drugs, and then you start phase 4. That's like in the market, and then the more information about long-term safety. So safety starts from phase 1 until phase 4. Always safety. We don't want to kill people. Make sure they're safe. and then drug is effective. Okay? And then usually this one is kind of like a new tactic for extending the patent life. So they try to find the new indications, like a Prozac, which is a famous drug for what is that? Make you happy a little bit more. Okay, anti-anxiety drugs. So people get very sad, right? Depressions. The Prozac is used for that drug, that treatment. And then they kind of like filed another one, so menstrual discomfort can be treated with the Prozac too. So the reason why they do this, usually the patent extensions. So you want to have exclusive life more than 20 years because you're spending so many time and money to go to launch this drug. Now this is the terrible news. About 1975, about 100 millions we spent to making drugs. What's about 75 is about, and then the 87, 300 millions. And once you go 2000, 800 million still okay, less than billion. Now 2005 figure is okay, getting one drug, you spend $1.3 billion. So $1.3 billion you spend to get the drug done. So expensive. Too much money. Okay? So if you something wrong, you got this much money is gone. 1.3 billion is not kidding. Now look at this guy. From 1950 about 2011, the life expectancy in US is getting better about 10 years. See, about woman is getting about 70 and then they're getting 80 right now. The man is usually die first, so 65 to 76. We're making about 10-year life longer than before, about 50 years ago. Okay? But we spent $1.3 billion to make one drug. So for 10 years, I don't know, is it really worth it to 1.3 billions? That's what the management have to think about. Okay? We make the people's life about 10 years better. And then for that, we have to spend such $1 billion for everybody. That's the reason why your drug is so expensive, right? Normally people spend like about several $1,000s a month for drugs. Like for example, to live about this from the 70, around 65 to 76, normally the elderly keep taking high cholesterol drugs, okay? High blood pressure drugs. Two things almost everybody in US, okay? So every day they have to spend about $50 drug expenses. So it's a very lot of money for every day. Okay? That $50 you have to go to the pharmaceutical company. And they're gonna spend $1.3 billion to make another better drugs. Then spend again and spend again. So it's not a good cycle. Okay. How dangerous the drug discovery is this. So you're taking about 5,000 to 10,000 drug compound from here, drug discovery. And then you went into all the procedures. How many left here? How many left here? One FDA approved medicine. So we do all the high screen, all the in vivo assay, all the animal study, and everything done, you got one drug. So if you are the president of the pharmaceutical company, what do you want to make? Highly visible drug they want to make. So they want to make the cholesterol drug better. Why? Because everybody gonna take it from 65, right? So they can sell billions, millions of dollars for that. They're not gonna make a disease which is the African have a problem. They're not gonna make the drug for the disease in the Mongolia. Never. Why? Mongolia population, they can sell, they can pay $50 every day. Why they have to do? So, you know, everybody knows that antibiotic has a really big problem, big resistance. They're not making antibiotic drug. Why? Market is too small. Like for example, antibiotic drug is like if you take in 3 days, you cure, right? You go home. You no longer need that drugs. But high cholesterol, every day you have to take it, right? High blood pressure, every day you have to take it. So they're selecting this kind of drug for the survival, economical reasons, not ethical or scientific reasons, right? They make sure they spend this much money, right? 5,000, 10,000 drug compound from one. You want to make one drug can make the billion and more dollar every year. That's a sad fact right now. I mean, it's understandable if you're looking at this, okay? If you're looking at about 10 to 15 years in drug development, and then I told you before, the patent is 20 years. Normally, they start patent around here, in the middle of this drug development, right? So before the FDA approved, right? So what they have is about 10 years to sell these drugs. And during that 10 years, they have to make sure all the research expenses, advertising expenses have to be come back. Okay? Because after this, generic will be coming into the market. So new drug development is very, very dangerous, just like gambling right now. Too dangerous right now. It's getting more dangerous in every year because regulations and the FDA, it's taking too much control over this. Maybe we can do the clinical trial in the foreign country, maybe that would be fine. Same effect, but FDA doesn't approve. So, in summary, I was talking about all the process from the beginning to end. And then, I was talking about FDA. I don't like the FDA. I mean, it's a good organization, but I don't like it. And then I was pointed out about some academic participation in the drug discovery area. And finally, I was pointed out about the discovery difficulty of this activity. All right, and thank you for your attention. I hope high school students understand a little bit. I didn't really expect high school students today, so I'm sorry about that.